Cristiano Ronaldo, the philosophy of greatness digital opening. There is a boy in a small house with a tin roof in Funchal, Madeira. He is 9 years old. He and his teammates knock on the back door of a McDonald's after closing time and ask the staff for leftover burgers, because that is what dinner looked like tonight. He does not have proper football boots. He plays in the street with a cloth ball. His father is a gardener and a kit man at the local club, battling alcoholism. His mother is a cook and cleaner who skips her own meals so her children can eat. That boy is Cristiano Ronaldo. 25 years later, he has scored over 900 professional goals, more than any footballer in the history of the sport. He has won 5 Ballon d'Or awards, 5 Champions League titles. He is still playing professional football at 39 years old, with a body that Juventus medical staff reported in 2019 functions biologically like that of a 20-year-old. This is not a story about talent. It never was. This is a story about what a human being can build when they apply the right principles with absolute consistency. And every principle in this story has been described in precise detail by the great philosophers of the Western tradition. Ronaldo never read them, but he lived them. Part 1. The Origin. Napoleon Hill and the Burning Desire. Napoleon Hill spent 20 years studying over 500 wealthy and successful Americans. In 1937, he published the conclusions in a book called Think and Grow Rich. His central argument was this: the difference between a wish and a burning desire is not the size of the dream, it is the intensity with which it is held, and the price that has already been paid before the result arrives. Ronaldo's price was paid before he ever stepped onto a professional pitch. His father, José Dinis Aveiro, died on September 6, 2005, aged 52, from kidney and liver failure caused by alcoholism. His mother, Maria Dolores dos Santos Aveiro, has described in her autobiography, My Coraging, meaning courageous mother, how she went without food, without new clothes, without anything for herself, for years so that her son could pursue his dream. She said, "We had nothing, but I believed in my son from the first day." When Ronaldo was 12 years old, a sporting CP scout named Aurelio Pereira flew from Lisbon to Madeira specifically to watch him. What he saw convinced him immediately. He offered the boy a place at Sporting CP's academy. That meant leaving Madeira, leaving his mother, his father, his sisters Elma and Liliana, and his brother Hugo. He was 12 years old. He flew to Lisbon, his first time on a plane, and moved into a dormitory hundreds of miles from home. He cried at night. The house mother at the academy found him. He said he missed his mother, and then he got up the next morning and trained. Napoleon Hill calls this the moment of decision, the moment when a person stops choosing between two lives and commits to one. Hill writes, "Successful people make decisions quickly and change their minds slowly." Ronaldo made his decision at 12 years old in a dormitory in Lisbon. He never changed it. Part 2. The Discipline. Aristotle in the Habit. Over 2,300 years ago, Aristotle wrote in the Nicomachean Ethics, "We become just by doing just acts, temperate by doing temperate acts, brave by doing brave acts. Excellence is not a decision you make once. It is a residue of practice. It is what happens when you perform the same difficult act correctly for long enough that it stops requiring willpower and starts requiring nothing more than showing up." Ronaldo understood this before he knew the philosophy. His Manchester United teammates have all described the same thing. Patrice Evra, who played alongside him from 2006 to 2014, said in multiple interviews, "I never saw anyone work as hard as Cristiano. Every single day after training was done and everyone had gone home, he stayed free kicks, headers, finishing drills, alone." Rio Ferdinand, another United teammate, called him the most dedicated professional I ever played with. Carlos Queiroz, who served as Sir Alex Ferguson's assistant and later managed the Portugal national team, said, "In 30 years of football, I never saw a player work the way Cristiano worked." But here is the detail that separates what Ronaldo does from ordinary hard work. He has said directly, "There are days when I don't feel like training. I do it anyway, because the days I don't feel like it are the days that matter most." This is the core of Aristotle's argument. Virtue is not a feeling. It is not something that appears when conditions are right. It is a stable disposition, a pattern so deeply embedded that it runs regardless of how you feel on a given morning. Ronaldo sleeps in 5 90-minute cycles per day rather than one long block, advised by his personal sleep consultant Nick Broad, to maximize physical recovery. He has maintained 7% body fat at age 38, the body fat of a professional sprinter, through 25 years of dietary discipline that includes 0 alcohol, 0 junk food, and 6 controlled meals per day. His body is not a gift from genetics. It is Aristotelian habituation made visible. 25 years of daily choices compounding. Part 3. Hand criticism, Stoicism, and the dichotomy of control. On July 1, 2006. In Gelsenkirchen, Germany, Portugal played England in the FIFA World Cup quarter-final. Ronaldo's own Manchester United teammate Wayne Rooney was on the opposing team playing for England. In the second half, Rooney stamped on Portuguese defender Ricardo Carvalho. Ronaldo ran to Argentine referee Horacio Elizondo to appeal. Elizondo showed Rooney a red card. A camera caught Ronaldo winking toward the Portugal bench. That image went around the world. The British tabloids declared him a traitor. The Sun and the Daily Mirror ran furious front pages. Gordon Taylor, the chief executive of the Professional Footballers Association, publicly called for Manchester United to sell him. He said, "I cannot see how he can play at Old Trafford after this." When the new Premier League season began in August 2006, Ronaldo walked into his own stadium, 76,000 people. Some wore England shirts. Sections of the crowd booed him, his own fans. Now here is the philosophy. Epictetus, a man born into slavery who became one of the most important philosophers in history, wrote this in the Enchiridion. Men are disturbed not by the things which happen, but by the opinions about the things. What disturbs you is never the event itself. It is your response to it. And Epictetus taught what he called the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to us, our judgments, our choices, our effort. Everything else, other people's opinions, tabloid headlines, crowd reactions, is not up to us. Gordon Taylor's opinion was not up to Ronaldo. The booing crowd was not up to Ronaldo. The newspaper front pages were not up to Ronaldo. His training was up to him. His preparation was up to him. His performance on the pitch was up to him. That season, 2006 to 2007, he scored 23 Premier League goals. Manchester United won the league title. The following season, he scored 31 league goals and 42 in all competitions, won the Champions League in Moscow, and won the Ballon d'Or. The people who demanded he be sold watched him become the best player in the world. Marcus Aurelius wrote it plainly in his private journal, The Meditations. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Ronaldo did not fight the obstacle. He became better than it. Part 4. Felsum overcoming Nietzsche and the will to power. Friedrich Nietzsche is one of the most misread philosophers in history. His concept of the will to power is almost always misunderstood as the desire to dominate other people. That is not what he meant. What Nietzsche described was the drive to exceed the current form of yourself, not to beat others, to refuse to accept what you are now as the limit of what you can become. He called the person who lives this aspiration fully the Übermensch. Not a Superman who rules others, but a person who creates their own standard and then spends their life trying to meet it. On April 3, 2018, Ronaldo scored a bicycle kick against Juventus in the Champions League quarter-final at the Allianz Stadium in Turin. The cross came from Dani Carvajal on the right. The ball was at chest height. Ronaldo turned his back to goal, left the ground, and struck the ball over his own head with his right foot. It flew into the top corner past Gianluigi Buffon, the greatest goalkeeper of his generation, who could only turn and watch it cross the line. The Juventus crowd, 41,000 Italian supporters watching their own team be scored against, rose to their feet and applauded. Massimiliano Allegri, the Juventus manager that evening, said after the game, "That goal is something we will talk about forever. I have never seen anything like it." Giorgio Chiellini, the Juventus defender marking Ronaldo on the play, said, "It was a moment of pure genius. You cannot defend against that." 3 months later, Ronaldo signed for Juventus, because that is who he is. The club that applauded his genius against them wanted to own it. In January 2023, his contract at Manchester United was terminated. Jamie Carragher, Sky Sports, said his time at the top level was over. Gary Lineker called it a sad end to a great European career. He signed for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. In his first full season at age 38, He scored 54 goals in 50 appearances. He won the Saudi Pro League Golden Boot. Nietzsche asked one question as the test of a life well lived. Could you will this exact life, this exact day, to repeat forever, every repetition, every sacrifice, every early morning? Ronaldo keeps showing up. The answer clearly is yes. Part 5. Meaning. Viktor Frankl, and the last human freedom. Viktor Frankl was an Austrian psychiatrist who survived 4 Nazi concentration camps, including Auschwitz. He lost his wife, his parents, and his brother. In his book Man's Search for Meaning, he wrote about what he observed among the people who survived longest in the camps. It was not always the physically strongest. It was the ones who had something to live for. A why. He wrote, "He who has a why can bear almost anyhow." Ronaldo's father died without seeing his son win a single Ballon d'Or. In the 2015 documentary Ronaldo, directed by Anthony Wonke, Ronaldo breaks down in tears. He says, "He never saw what I became. That is something I carry every day." He carries it forward, not backward. He does not drink alcohol, not once in his entire career. He has connected this directly to his father's death from alcoholism. He said, "I saw what it did to him. I will never touch it." Frankl identified 3 sources of meaning: what we give to the world, what we receive from the people we love, and the attitude we choose to take towards suffering we cannot escape. Ronaldo has expressed all 3. He sold his 2013 Ballon d'Or at auction and donated the proceeds, €600,000, to benefit children in need. He paid in full for life-saving brain surgery for Eric Ortiz Cruz, a 10-month-old baby in Spain whose family could not afford it. He carries no tattoos on his body, so he can donate blood and bone marrow regularly. He has said this plainly. The absence of tattoos is a gift to others. He did not do these things for publicity. Most were reported by the families involved, not announced by Ronaldo's team. This is Frankl's teaching. Meaning is not found in what you win. It is found in what you choose to do with what you have been given, including the suffering. Closing here is what Cristiano Ronaldo teaches, if you are willing to receive it. He is not great because he was talented. The streets of Funchal are full of talented boys. He is great because at 12 years old, alone and homesick in a dormitory in Lisbon, mocked for his accent, he made the decision that most people are never willing to make. He chose the harder version of his life. He chose Aristotle's discipline when comfort was available. He chose the Stoics' composure when bitterness was easier. He chose Nietzsche's self-overcoming when the world declared him finished. He chose Frankl's meaning when grief could have become an excuse. He never read these philosophers. He did not know their names. But for 25 years, every morning he has gotten up and lived their ideas with a consistency that no book alone can teach. The principles are real. His life is the proof. And the proof, every example in this story, is available for you to verify, to research, to sit with. The only question